Just how we were the first ones to bring the news about the raids coming to Call of Duty, guys, today we have information on what the gameplay mechanics are going to be, what type of puzzles we're going to be able to solve, and if this is more similar to a Spec Ops or if this is more similar to a Destiny raid. Today we're going to be talking about all the leaked information that got revealed today and go a little bit deeper and talk about the raids and why we are excited for raids coming to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. If you guys are excited for raids, drop a like in this video. Let's try to get this video to 100 likes. If you guys love raids, hit that like button. So with that being said, guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about what raids are in Modern Warfare 2. For those of you who don't know, there is a brand new mode coming to Modern Warfare 2 called Raids. And it was very predominant that they said that these raids are meant to be felt like Destiny 2 raids or Destiny raids. So that got us really excited when we first heard this comment. But today we actually get information on what type of gameplay mechanics are going to be involved in the raids due to a leak that came out of someone that's actually seen gameplay of the raids and has a chance of taking a glimpse of the raids. Now, this also got picked up by industry insider Tom Henderson, which kind of gave us an assumption that this could be very accurate. Not all the time is things like 100%. But usually when things leak, it's like 98-ish that, it's going to be happening, right? So as of yesterday, the only information we had about the raids is that if there was going to be a creative way to solve puzzles, objectives that you were going to find, and you were going to need to fend off AI enemies, very similar to what we have right now in Destiny. But today, like I said, we got information on what type of puzzles we will be focusing on and what exactly is going to be happening. The first puzzle that we're going to have to solve is one that's going to be focusing on numbers. Like you guys know, Mason, the numbers, Mason, the numbers. Now, this reminds me a little bit about when we had kind of like a very similar type of puzzle system in Blackout. If you guys remember, I believe it was to unlock a skin or a weapon. I think it was a skin. You actually had to do the numbers mission or the number thing within Blackout. And this kind of reminds me of that. I don't know if it's going to be taking the same puzzle mechanics, but that was actually a pretty hard and very difficult puzzle that not a lot of people were able to solve. So I kind of see the play on this. Now, the other puzzle that we're meant to solve is going to be relying heavily on the brand new water mechanics that are featured within Modern Warfare 2. They say that there is a puzzle underwater that you're going to have to focus on, which is theoretically a water maze that you're going to have to be able to escape. Now remember, while we're doing all this puzzle solving, we also are going to be needing to fight AI enemies within this raid experience. Now, in addition to that, guys, for those who don't know, if you're trying to figure out exactly how many people are going to be able to partake in these so-called raids, it's going to be a 3-man raid. Now, I'm thinking that they're going to be testing this out to see how the community responds. If there is a good response, I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to bump this up to 4. But as of right now, it's a three-player experience. Now, one thing I do want to let you guys know, and something that's not only being reiterated by Tom Henderson, but also industry insiders, and also people that we're in contact with that have insight on Call of Duty, is that they have put a massive amount of effort on this particular raid mode because they want to compete with Destiny in the sense that they want to have things like World's First. They want to have people participating where it's going to be a very big event when these raids actually launch. So far, what we know, there's already 3 different raids already created. And according to this particular leak, the first one's going to be taking part in a submarine base. What we're going to be asked to do is we're going to be asked to infiltrate a submarine base, which is a mission or a raid that's going to highlight Modern Warfare 2 new water mechanics with underwater gameplay. That sounds pretty dope because we theoretically, as of right now, if you guys are Destiny players or Division players, we haven't had a underwater raid at all. There hasn't been a thing like that created. So it's going to be interesting with the different types of assortment things that we're going to be able to deal with. Like, am I going to drown? Am I going to need oxygen? Am I going to have to deal with sharks? Am I going to have to deal with animals? So a lot of really cool mechanics that can happen in the underwater type of gameplay. Now, another thing that I'm kind of wanting to find out as well, and I'm pretty sure, let me know in the comment section down below if that's something you guys want to find out. Like if these raids are going to have tied specific loot, because one thing that makes raids extremely popular and extremely important is the loot that you actually get after completing the raid or the accolade you get after completing the raid. If you guys play Destiny, if you played any of these games, you get really good amount of loot when you complete this raid. So, like for example, you get a special weapon that only drops in the raid. You get a special emblem. Now I'm wondering, I'm pretty sure we'll probably get an emblem of some sort of banner or game tag, but I do want to know if there's going to be an exclusive weapon that you're only able to get in the raid. Now the best example I could put of this, if you guys ever played the Division, there was a weapon when you did the first raid called the Eagle Bearer. Now this weapon, guys, was a monster. Not only was it good in PvP, but it was really good in PvE, and the only way you were actually able to obtain this particular weapon was if you completed the raid. For me personally, if the raid mode does not include this feature where you get a special weapon and skin emblem, then a lot of people are probably going to shy away from this raid experience because there really isn't an incentive to actually try it out. Now, I believe if there's a weapon tied to it, and just like any other game that wants to sell games and wants to get people involved in a particular mode, then definitely this weapon has to be OP at least for the first month. We've seen this in multiple games. Like we saw this in Destiny when, the first raid came out and we got the Vex Mythic class. It was wrecking in PvP. People were calling for nerfs. People were calling for it to be banned and everything like that. But it was so dope for the people who actually had it because they were wrecking people's faces and everybody wanted to go ahead and get the raid just to be able to get the Vex. Now, another thing that I want to know, and this is the same example I gave with the Division. Now, another thing I want to know is, are these going to be time gated in the sense where you could only do a certain amount of raids every week? Very similar to Destiny where you only are able to do the raids a certain amount of a week to get rewards. And then after that, if you just want to keep helping people do raids, you can, but you won't be getting rewards after you do your first 3 runs or first 1 run that you do within the raid. So that's something that we want to know because the Division and Destiny handle it almost the same. You're only able to do a certain amount of runs till you actually get the loot. But after that, you don't get the loot. You have to wait till next week. So we have a ton of questions regarding this raid mode. Now, I'm hopeful that we actually get invited to test out the raid system mechanic before it launches, so I can tell you guys exactly what to expect when this launch. As of right now, there is no official date, guys, of when exactly this is going to be dropping. But what we do know is that it's already in the game because we have a couple of data mined missions already that are related to the raids that indicate that these particular raids are built from the ground up and have their own individual map. So it's not something that you're going to be replaying a map that you already played on multiplayer or a map that you played on another different mode like a DMC mode. This is actually a separate map for this particular raid. So if everything I'm hearing and everything they're saying that this is going to be very similar to a Destiny raid, we're going to have puzzles, we're going to have maces, and hopefully we have some really good loot, then I am extremely excited for these raids. But I want to know from you guys, how excited are you? Now I have a question for you guys. If you played the Division or you played Destiny, what is your guys' favorite raid? Let me know in the comment section down below. Now I highly recommend you guys check out this other video, which is also talking about the raids. It was my first video where I went and talked about the comparisons between the Destiny raid and the new Modern Warfare 2 raid. So I highly recommend you check out the video that's popping up right now on the screen. Of course, we will have you covered here on the channel on anything that has to do with raids in Modern Warfare. And we're trying to see if we can cover some DMC as well. But I want to know your guys' feedback if you guys would like to see the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next video.